remember how they said that you couldn't say that the election was hacked or that people switched votes in the vote. You couldn't say that about the election. You couldn't say that. If you questioned the integrity of the 2020 election, the establishment would shut you down. Certainly on YouTube, you weren't allowed to ever. They did that even to The Hill, which is a billionaire-owned corporate news channel on YouTube. They just showed a clip of Trump denying the results of the 2020 election, and they shut them down for a week. They wouldn't let them post a video.
Right.
Why does that make me laugh? Because it's billionaire on billionaire crime. That always makes me laugh. So, well, now that we find out that in Georgia, turns out they are vulnerable to hacking. Expert report fuels election doubts as Georgia waits to update its voting software. Wait, a newly unsealed expert? So they have them shrink wrapped, I guess, just to keep them fresh. There it is, a newly unsealed expert. What the hell does that mean? Is that saran wrap? What are they? Is that a Tupperware? I think Tupperware does make a bowl for election experts. A newly unsealed expert report arguing that Georgia's Dominion voting machines are vulnerable to hacking is fueling election doubts in Georgia. What? I thought you couldn't say this stuff. I thought you weren't allowed to say this. Huh. I can't. I hope I don't get shut down. But it's in NBC News. A newly unsealed expert report arguing that Georgia's Dominion... Wasn't that what Fox News got in trouble for? They said that Dominion's voting machines got hacked. So it turns out it's not a crazy theory. It said that Dominion voting systems machines are vulnerable to vote switching and hacking. It's raising alarms in Georgia. It's raising alarms? Really? Oh, yeah. You know me. Hey. Even as the state downplays the risks and their plans to mitigate them. This week, a federal judge in Atlanta unsealed 2 reports in a federal court case over the use of Dominion ballot marking devices in Georgia elections. One report, authored by University of Michigan computer science professor Alex Halderman, for the plaintiffs in a federal court case seeking to block the use of Dominion machines in Georgia's elections, argued that the machines are critically vulnerable to hacking. Oh, so his report is unsealed. His report is unsealed. Okay. I knew that. I was just testing you guys.
I'm listening.
The other report paid for by Dominion argued the identified vulnerabilities were practically unlikely. I don't even know what does practically unlikely mean? That's not you can't put those 2 words together.
In a report.
It's practically unlikely. What? While Georgia officials say they are exaggerated and unrealistic. Really? Okay. Wow. But federal authorities have identified the same vulnerabilities, and more than 20 cybersecurity experts rushed to defend Halderman's report this week. So the report by Dominion about themselves found that there's nothing to worry about at Dominion.
Oh, go figure.
Well, there you go, Steph. Why are we unsealing new experts? You're just wasting them. Dominion already told you. Some of the issues could be mitigated by upgrading the Dominion software. But I bet they're not going to do that, right? Let's see. But Georgia officials say that the upgrade is unrealistic. An enormous undertaking they won't start until after the 2024 elections. So let me get this straight. China can build a hospital in 24 hours. But we can't update our voting software in 2 years. So it's like a year and a half away, the election. Nah, can't do it. The warnings are stark. suggesting that Georgia's voting machines could be manipulated by bad actors in mere minutes. Haldeman argued that attackers could alter the QR codes on printed ballots and install malware on individual voting machines with only brief physical access. They could attack the broader voting system if they have the same access as certain county-level election officials, his report said. Professor Haldeman wrote about his findings in a blog post on Wednesday. He said, back in September of 2020, the court granted the curling plaintiffs access to one of Georgia's touchscreen ballot-making devices so that they could assess its security. Drew and I extensively tested the machine, and we discovered vulnerabilities in nearly every part of the system that is exposed to potential attackers. The most critical problem we found is an arbitrary code execution vulnerability that can be exploited to spread malware from a county central elections management system to every BMD in the jurisdiction. This makes it possible to attack the BMDs at scale over a wide area without needing physical access to any of them. Holy F. What if Russia hacks the election? Couldn't Russia hack the election? What about Russia? Russia! Why wouldn't Russia do that? Why wouldn't they take advantage of that? Maybe you want Russia to. Our report explains how attackers could exploit the flaws we found to change votes or potentially even affect election outcomes in Georgia, including how they could defeat the technical and procedural protections the state has in place. While we are not aware of any evidence that the vulnerabilities have been exploited to change votes in past elections, with more precautions and mitigations, there is a serious risk that they will be exploited in the future. On Thursday, Professor Haldeman tweeted out that Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, will not install Dominion security patches before the 2024 election.
They don't have enough time.
Wow.
Not enough time.
Not enough time. Astonishingly, Georgia's Secretary of State, this is that guy, Brad Raffensperger, who has been aware of our findings for 2 years, just announced that the state will not get around to installing Dominion security patches until after the 2024 presidential election. Well, that doesn't sound suspicious at all. I'm sure that the officials in Georgia would never switch votes and throw an election and rig it. Why would they? There aren't criminals in Georgia, right? So we don't have to worry about it, right? The people in power wouldn't ever be corrupted and criminal and throw an election, would they? And just the fact that they wouldn't correct the problem ahead of the election, that doesn't mean that they're doing it on purpose and they're definitely going to throw the election. Is that what that means? I don't think so. You got to be really cynical to think people in government would do something illegal for personal gain. This is amazing. And Trump can't say he had the election stolen. That's worse than doing nothing, he says.
Huh.
By broadcasting that Georgia is not going to patch up the old system, Raffensperger has given would-be adversaries a whole 18 months to develop and execute attacks that exploit the known vulnerable machines. So now anybody who wants to hack those machines in Georgia, they now have 18 months to figure out a plan to do it, because that guy just announced he's not going to do anything to try to fix the problems that are currently in place. So they don't have to worry about those fixes happening. So now they can go and make a plan. Our findings are a reminder that elections face ongoing risks that call for vigilance from policymakers, technologists, and the public. Officials like Raffensperger should uphold voter confidence by improving security, not denying it or ignoring real problems. Votes deserve better. Okay. They're doing this on purpose. This isn't an accident. You think that Raffensperger and the people that he works for, you don't think they would throw an election? You don't think that they would cheat? You don't think that they would flip votes on those machines if they could? No. Right? They would just start wars and kill millions of people for money and profit. But they wouldn't switch votes to do it. This was taken from a recent Raffensberger statement. So that guy, he says, this software has not been deployed in any elections in any jurisdiction as of yet. The pilots will examine its full functionality in a real-world setting. Also, in reviewing the processes, it will require an update of nearly 45,000 pieces of voting equipment, along with the subsequent acceptance testing. This process will take tens of thousands of man-hours. Therefore, the statewide move to 5.17, that's the operating system, will occur following the 2024 election cycle. This will allow the state and counties to cheat and flip votes whenever they feel like it. Oh, wait, sorry. This will allow the state and counties to focus on executing municipal elections and running the presidential cycle. It also allows the state to put together a thoughtful, thorough plan to roll out the latest software. You don't have, really, so 4 years isn't enough time to have a thoughtful, thorough plan to roll out. So those people are lying because they're criminals and they're corrupt and they're probably planning on switching votes and flipping the election. That's what I'm guessing. And I've only been right about everything. I don't mean to pat myself too hard on the back, but Raffensperger, could you imagine if I spent 7 years telling you that Russia hacked our election and Trump works for Russia, and then the Durham report comes out, and I go, yeah, everything I said for the last almost decade has all been bullshit. But anyway, keep tuning in. You imagine that? If I just went through 3 years of COVID and repeating bullshit talking points from criminals and government and big pharma, and then, of course, now everybody knows that they're all liars. They all lied. And then you just go, okay, well, you can still listen to me. Imagine getting the Ukraine war wrong. Imagine getting Syria wrong. Imagine telling people that anti-war activists were working for dictators. Imagine doing that and then go, whatever. Anyway. So these people are criminals, and they're planning on, I'm going to guess they're planning on throwing an election. Raffensperger, a vocal never-Trumper, has been aware of the investigators' findings for 2 years. And it's a year and a half before the next election. So they have plenty of time to fix it. He doesn't want to because he's a criminal. That means he ran the vulnerable machines during his re-election in 2022. Oh, boy, I wonder if there was any vote flipping. What is up with Brad Raffensperger? Asked this article. So, and I just want to show you this because if you don't think Democrats are election deniers, because they say Trump, but you're nuts if you denied election. Listen to this.
Frankly, the FBI is weighing in on the election. I think makes his election illegitimate.
There was a widespread understanding that this election was not on the level. We still don't know what really happened, Isaac. I mean, there's just a lot that I think will be revealed, history will discover, but you don't win by 3 million votes and have all this other shenanigan stuff going on and not come away with an idea like, whoa, something's not right here.
The outcome of the election was affected by their interference, and now we need to know, to what degree, if any, the Trump campaign was actually in collusion with with Russia.
He knows he's an illegitimate president. So of course he's obsessed with me. And I believe that it's a guilty conscience.
We actually won the last presidential election, folks. They stole the last presidential election.
If Al Gore won that election, I think he won anyway.
Actually, I think I carried Florida.
Bush versus Gore. A court took away a presidency.
If all the votes were counted in Florida, that Al Gore would be president today and George Bush would be back in office.
I come from Florida, where you...
So you get it. So the point is, it's okay to deny elections if Democrats lose, but it's not okay if Trump wins. Okay. And now we know that the voting machines for at least 4 years, at least for the last 2 years, we've known that they've had these vulnerabilities in Georgia. So if it's in Georgia, you think it's just in Georgia? You think it's just the Dominion voting machines in Georgia? You think? I bet nobody's flipping votes. I bet our democracy's on the up and up. I bet it is. Hey, so I don't know if you're into this kind of stuff. It's the Field of Greens. It's So what this is, it's a powder you put in water, you mix it, or you can put it in a smoothie or whatever. They give you a little scooper. You take a scoop of this and you put it in, shake it up, or whatever. You can make a smoothie, whatever you want. But it's real food. So they know the right foods, like the vegetables and fruits, and they somehow turn it into a powder. And then you take it, and it's great. And it's now Misha has actually. I've been taking it. I like the taste of it. Like I've said before, it tastes like a mixture of iced tea, lemonade, and fresh cut grass. I think it tastes great. And I don't know. Do I look better? Do I feel better? But at least I'm getting vitamins by taking this, right? So you get all your vitamins and all your stuff, and it's all organic and it's superfood. It's not like supplements. It's actual superfood. Now, Misha, how good have you been feeling? Talk on the mic.
I swear to Bob, it gave me energy.
It really did, right?
It really did, yeah.
You feel much better, right? Could you show her?
Yes, it was like a not so much like a caffeine energy, but like an aura.
An aura
of energy.
Yeah, you felt it, right?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, so no messing around. That comes right from Misha, and she's a mom, so she can't lie. She's not a mom. That's a joke. So if you want, so here's where you do. You go to fieldofgreens.com, use the promo code Jimmy, and that gets you, what does it get you? It gets you 15% off your one-time purchase or 10% off of subscription. So if you like this stuff, this is a good way to support the show, and it's good. It's healthy. So thank you very much for doing that. Go to fieldofgreens.com, use promo code Jimmy. Hey, come see us live on tour. We'll be in Bakersfield, Baltimore, San Francisco, Huntington Beach, Rosemont, and Chicago, Las Vegas, Salt Lake City, New York City, Pottstown, Pennsylvania, Stamford, Connecticut, and more. Hey, go to jimmydore.com for a link for tickets.